Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order, please.
Special meeting of Washington, Missouri City Council, Monday, August 24th, 2020, 7 p.m. Heidrich.
Aye.
Holtzmeyer.
Aye.
Obermark.
Aye.
Patke.
Here.
Pettit. Here. Skornia.
Here.
Sullentrup. Wessels.
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval and adjustment of agenda.
Entertain a motion to approve the...
Make a motion. Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Holtmeyer, seconded by Heidrich to approve the agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you approve the agenda. Thank you.
Public hearing, City of Washington tax levy.
There you go.
Good evening. This is the, as Mary stated, the public hearing to set the City of Washington tax levy and also the Washington Public Library for 2020. And in your package, you have the assessed valuations provided by Franklin County for 2020 for the proposed tax year. For real estate for the city, the assessed valuation is $290,936.505, which is approximately $2.5 million higher than prior year. And for personal property, the assessed valuation is $65,002,630, which is approximately $5 million higher than prior year, for a total assessed valuation of $355,939,135, which is approximately $7 million higher than prior year. Overall, that's approximately 2% higher. So based on Missouri state statutes, the permitted 2020 tax levy for general operating purposes would be 0.5952 per $100 of assessed valuation. So what does this mean? Based on this rate, this will result in approximate tax revenue for the city of approximately $2,118,551, which is an increase over prior year of approximately $48,000. So those same figures for the library district. For real estate for the assessed valuation is $118,103,916, which is approximately $500,000 more than prior year. And for personal property, $25,660,011, which is approximately $1.5 million over prior year, coming to a total assessed valuation of $143,763,927, which is overall $2 million higher than prior year, which is approximately 1.3% higher than 2019. So based on Missouri state statutes, the permitted 2020 tax levy for the City of Washington Library District is 0.2000 per $100 of assessed valuation. This will result in approximate tax revenue of $280,340, which is approximately $4,000 more than prior year. So the maximum allowed by Missouri state statutes for both tax levies would be 0.7952 per $100 of assessed valuation. So what we're here tonight to do is basically to set that tax levy at the 0.7952, which would be the maximum allowed by law. So does anybody have any questions? I know that's a lot of numbers.
Mary, without getting too deep, I was just curious because, that you say so the state sets, do they set a maximum or do they set the actual rate?
Well, the maximum, they set the maximum and they set the rate. The rate's based on a formula that the state actually calculates. And it takes the assessed valuation into account, any new construction that you have, and it's a huge formula. And they actually come up with that, and that fluctuates depending on all these different factors.
Yeah, I noticed it was down a little bit from some of the others, and I was just curious as to how they come up with that, but that's all right.
Yeah. But the law, and if you remember going back 2 years ago, I guess, when we voted to increase the maximum. So the maximum is actually set by the taxpayers.
It's 2 years.
2 years ago, yeah. So the library districts went from .1000 to .200. So that's set by the taxpayers. And then the state says you can't go over that maximum that's allowed. And so then that rate is calculated every year based on that assessed valuation. So it says you can't have more than this amount of revenue based on that maximum. And then it says, okay, well, based on these different factors that go into the formula, this is the rate that's set. So, and this is the assessment year is every odd year. So this was
19 was
2019?
the assessment. Should every
At the end of the year, the assessment
Yes.
came out
The reassessment year is every odd year.
every other year.
And so this was a
This will be
reassessment year.
19
So that's
was,
why
so
the
this is the
rate
first time.
fluctuated so much.
And you do, Mark, just for clarification, when you have that, the total of both tax levies, that's only for those that are both in the library district and the city.
Right, I understand.
So the rest of the community, but they pay the same thing outside.
That 20 cents was by an ordinance from us through a vote of the people.
That was a ballot initiative, Prop L, that we did a couple years ago. And it raised that up to the same level before that Scenic Regional was already at. They had raised theirs 4 or 5 years ago, et cetera, and we did not at that time.
Right.
And so then just a year or two ago, we took Prop L on, and so that we could at least, so otherwise that number would be cut in half, obviously, that we get from the library.
Right.
Right. And I will just let you know, this is kind of more of an economic factor, but the amount of new construction this year was like 3.2 million for the city. And the amount for the library fund was 1,060,000. So that's how much your rate can go up based on new construction. So the year before, for the general fund, it was almost 6 million. So it's just kind of an economic growth factor. And then of that general tax levy, just another little bit of information, almost approximately 31% of that does go to the fire fund. We subsidize the fire
Correct.
fund by that.
Right, they get a percentage of that.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other questions or comments?
Okay.
Okay, so this is a public hearing, right? So
Correct.
is there anyone here who would like to address the council on this item? Mark, it looks like it's you, if you have something to say. Okay, nothing from Mark. Okay.
Make a motion to send it to the council.
Okay, we have a motion by Holtmeyer, seconded by Hydrich, to accept this item into the minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you accepted the item. Thank you.
An ordinance levying and imposing for the calendar year 2020 a tax upon all real estate and taxable tangible property in the city of Washington, Missouri for general municipal purposes and for a free public library.
introduced by Councilwoman Pettit. This is the ordinance that follows the previous item. Any questions or comments? Okay,
An ordinance levying and imposing for the calendar year 2020 a tax upon all real estate and taxable tangible property in the city of Washington, Missouri for general municipal purposes and for a free public library. Sullentrup?
Yes.
Pettit?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Patke?
Yes.
Scornia?
Yes.
Wessels?
Aye.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Obermark?
Aye.
by your vote, you approve the ordinance. Thank you.
I just have one other quick item to go ahead and bring up. As the council will recall, a couple months ago, and we were in the midst of, well, we're still in the midst of COVID, but licenses were normally due on June 30th. And at that time, we decided to go ahead and extend that for 2 months, and that would expire at the end of August. We have, most of those have come through, and we've got taken care of them, but we still have a few stragglers that didn't, and since we're not going to meet until September the 8th, I would just ask for you to make a motion and approve that we extend it to September the 8th to go ahead and take care of those last few ones that we need. We'll have those on the agenda that night.
Make a motion. Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Heidrich, seconded by Holtmeyer, to extend the deadline for the liquor license
And business
the
license.
business license till September 8th,
Correct.
right?
Thank you.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you extended that date. Thank you. Anyone else have anything?
Make a motion to adjourn. Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Heidrich, seconded by Obermark, to adjourn the meeting. Did you have something to say?
Yeah, I would just like to ask just the council and Darren, Sandy, stick around after the meeting. You don't
Okay.
have to if you don't want, but if you will.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Do we need to have executive session or something, or?
No, don't have to be.
Okay,
I want to stick around, I want to talk about something.
okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you